All right, it is Jim Moyna, and this is Moyna Bass Fishes. I'm talking about the 2023 MLF Tacklewarehouse Invitational on Clarks Hill, day 2. Okay, I made the cut to day 3. So to go from day 2 to day 3, you got to fish in the top 50. Going into today, I was 85th place, so I needed a pretty good catch for this lake, and I brought in 1510, which moved me up to 49th. So just squeezed in there. So that was really cool. I was really happy about that. 51st place gets paid $0. So I got money coming to me tomorrow. My goal of qualifying for the Bass Pro Tour is still possible. If I can, I'm a little behind, but, I, I'm still there. And I can really, so I'm still in that. So anyways, but for tomorrow, well, the goal tomorrow is obviously catch the biggest bag I possibly can. So really that's the goal. And wherever that lands me, that lands me. But what would be nice to happen would be to make it to 30th place or higher. That would be nice. And the reason why I say that is because that is the cut line for the next page up. So 31st to 50th will get $8,000, and then 30th and higher will make like 10. Unless if you get really high, top 10 obviously make more than 10,000. But anyways, so if I get to 30th, I get 10,000. Plus, that would be 19 more points on top of what I've already got. I can do no worse than 50th, and I'm 49th. So I'm looking to pick up some points tomorrow. And that was very key. It was very, very key making this cut, because now I can continue to collect more points. If I finish tomorrow, the worst I could do tomorrow is lose a point. But I have, that if I have a bad day, I could lose 1 point. That's it. However, if I have a really good day, I could pick up 20, 25 more points for the Angler of the Year, the Angler of the Year points. And those are the points that you need to qualify for the Bass Pro Tour. So very critical that I made this cut, and now I can continue to add some more points tomorrow with a decent catch. Today's fishing was not easy by any means. It started off fantastic. I caught my biggest fish right away. It was probably close to 4 pounds. It was the coolest fish because I was in the back of this pocket, and this was a brand new part of, brand new section of the lake that I hadn't been in this area, hadn't been in this pocket. I just picked it out on the map and said, I'm going to go there this morning. So I went there and got to the back of this pocket, threw my Senko up to next to this bush back there, and the Senko sank to the bottom. Then I twitched it a little bit, and all of a sudden the bush rattled. And you know what that means. And I saw, it was really shallow, and I saw the shadow of this fish, but I didn't think he had the bait because I wasn't feeling nothing. So I start wiggling the rod to maybe wiggle the bait, and I'm studying the shadow and what he's doing, and after a few seconds, or maybe actually more like 5 seconds, maybe 6, it clicks. It just dawns on me that, okay, even though I don't feel nothing, I think the fish has got my bait. So I start reeling really slow to pick up the slack. And then sure enough, I feel a little bit of resistance. So then I just sweep the rod back, and the battle is on. And that was right away in the morning. First fish, nearly 4 pounds, my biggest one of the day. And so that was really cool. And then And then I roll out of that pocket, come around the point, catch one on a crankbait, just right there. So I got 2 fish in the first 20 minutes probably. But then it was slow, so slow. I kept running backs and pockets like that, just running them, and I wasn't catching nothing, nothing. So then I start, and I was really focusing on the backs of the pockets, but I started giving up on it. I'm like, okay, I got to catch any kind of fish. So I start fishing the pockets and then roll out to the points. Pockets, roll out to the points. And finally, I roll out on this one point. No, I wasn't even on a point. It was just kind of the ditch part of the. There was a point and a bank, and all of a sudden I noticed a couple of blips. I mean, there's lots of blips most of the time on your active target. But these blips, and I've been throwing at a lot of these blips, and so I, just like any other blips, I throw my Texas rig Tricky D over there by Billy Rub Baits, and all of a sudden I notice, I'm like, whoa, this blip is actually following it down to the bottom, and so I don't feel nothing, and I work a little bit, and I'm not feeling nothing, and then I'm like, okay, wait a minute, that might be a fish. Set the hook, and that was like 2 3/4 pounds maybe. Nice fish. So that was 3. So now I got one kind of small one that was on that crankbait. I got the near one close to 4 pounds. Maybe it was a 4-pounder. I didn't weigh it by itself. Now I got this 2 3/4. So, all right, I've got what I got. So that's cool. But now I'm really confused what I should be doing at this point. So, but I'm really still focused. I'm still kind of thinking I got to get to the backs of these pockets, like where I caught that one nearly 4 pounds, because you can pull into one pocket again and catch another big one. And it was just slow going, man, just fishing all these pockets and nothing happening. And then I got into this one pocket, and all of a sudden I saw 2 fish. Right, it was shallow, but I wasn't all the way to the back, but I saw 2 fish on the way back to it. So I was like, dang, why didn't those fish bite? Because they were decent fish. And then I got to the very tippy toppy of this back of this drain, and literally it was about this wide. I mean, like 3 foot across of maybe 20 inches of water, and then it went up to like 6 inches of water, and then to the bank. And I'm just like, there ain't gonna be nothing up there. But sure enough, I caught one like 13 inches way back there, way in the very tippy backy. And so I was like, okay, whatever, it's nice to have a 4th fish. It'd be nice to get rid of it, but whatever. So then I pull out of there, go back into another pocket, and I'm looking down, and I actually see a fish down there that I spooked off a bed. I don't know where the bed is, but he's swimming around me like I'm sitting on his bed. And then I look up further back in the pocket, and I'm like, whoa, either I'm seeing like a stick or something, or is that a fish? I don't know. Take my Senko, cast it back there, and I see the fish. It wasn't a stick, because I see this thing, this shadow. I mean, I can barely see it. All of a sudden I see him swim like this, and then I feel the tick. Set the hook, and nothing. He pulled the bait off my hook. So I just go into the bag, grab another one, throw it out there. And all of a sudden I see the shadow again go right. Instantly went right for it. Felt the bite. Set the hook. All I got is the hook. So now I grab another bag, and I'm not standing all the way up when I'm doing this, because I don't want this fish to see me. So I put him out, and then I look up, and all of a sudden the fish was like 10 feet closer to me. And I'm like crouched down as it is, because once he sees me, it's over. So now I'm like, oh shit, so I'm like intentionally cast it past, between him and where he was. I cast past it, so he's got to swim away from me to go get it instead of towards me, where he might even come closer and see me. And sure enough, he turns around, goes right for it, and hails it. And this time I wait like 4 seconds. And then I just start reeling up on him, and I got him. And it was my second biggest one, like a 3.5, 3 3/4, somewhere in there. So really pumped to get that one. So now I got, well, how many fish do I got? I got the two good ones, the active target fish, the crankbait fish, and the little tiny 13 inches. So I got my 5 fish. So that's pretty cool. So then I'm like, that fish I just caught that bit 3 times, I'm like, okay, I wonder if there's a male up there. So I cast, nothing. So then I pull up my power poles. Power poles are just so key when it comes to shallow water fishing, especially bed fishing. So now I ease back further into the pocket, and there's a stump there where that fish was hanging next to, and I look, and sure enough, there's like a 2.5-pound male down there. I could not get that fish to bite. I leave, I come back later, still can't get him to bite, and I know that fish is my top 50 cut line fish, and I could not get him to bite. It was so frustrating, but I wasted some time on it. So now time's running down. Okay, time is running down. So now I'm like, run to another area. And this is an area where I had fished in practice and had some activity. So the first thing I throw at where I had a bite, nothing. I actually got hung up and ruined that spot. So now I go around into this pocket, nothing. And I'm coming out of this pocket, going around this point to go into this other pocket, and I pick up a swim bait, which I haven't caught much on the swim baits. I've been so focused. I mean, in practice, it was all crankbaits. Whenever I fished a swim bait, unless it was out really deep water, I did catch them on a swim bait in really deep water, but any time I was near the bank, it was always the crankbait, not the swim bait. But the crankbait had just been letting me down so bad that I picked up my swim bait. And as I'm rounding to this point to go back into this other pocket, a fish bites it, and it's a decent fish. And I'm like, okay, this is definitely going to call. And he's fighting, I'm fighting it. And then he jumps, and it's like close to 3 pounds, and he threw the bait. He threw the dang bait. And I'm just like, no, there's my cut fish right there. It's gone. So I go back in the pocket. Of course, I made a few more casts around that point. Nothing. Go back in the pocket. Throwing the Senko back there in the shallow water. In this pocket, I caught a good one in a practice on a crankbait. And sure enough, and all of a sudden I looked down, and it might have been the same fish, because it was like a nice quality, like 3 to 4 pound fish. It just went swimming right under the boat and disappeared in the murk. So I was like, dang, surely, I know he saw my bait. I know he saw it. And for whatever reason, he didn't hit it. So anyways, I'm like, oh man, there was another blown opportunity. And time's running down. So now I'm like, okay, so now I come rolling out. I mean, I only can fish a couple more pockets after this. So I'm like, well, I might as well just roll out and around this point and see there was one on that point, so maybe on this point. So as I'm coming out, well, I make a few casts at the point where I lost the one, nothing. And then I turn around and start casting at the opposite point. And maybe on my third cast over there, I hook a fish, and I fight it, and I'm just so worried he's going to jump and throw it, and I get him up to the net, and I get him in the boat. Bam! Got that fish. And that was the last fish I caught, and that was the fish that put me over the hump. I would have loved to I still had a fish that was maybe 1.5 pounds in the live well. Would have loved to got rid of it, but I couldn't. I hit maybe, I think I hit like 3 more pockets. 2 more pockets after that, and maybe a point or 2, and that was it. I mean, that was literally like a half hour left of fishing when I put that last one in the live well. So anyhow, that's the story. I'm going out fishing tomorrow to pick me up some more points and hopefully some more extra money. Over.